Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 20th of June for the Sun or the Ascendant. Going to give you the key themes to look out for as usual. Then please stay with me. I will dive deep to give you in forensic detail each of the 12 zodiac signs. If my energy seems slightly lower, I do have COVID, but I will do my best to outline all the key pieces of information for you. So as this week begins, the Sun just briefly forges a quincunx with Pluto. So the Sun on its last day in Gemini is in a rather tense angle to the planet of power. So a conversation that's to do with work or money, or it may be an idea that we have that doesn't quite mesh with someone in a position of authority. But by Tuesday we have the summer solstice and the beginning of cardinal quadrant 2. So this is the second 13-week period of the astrological year. And of course the sign of Cancer, which the Sun moves into, is very much about nurture, protection, security in its physical or emotional context, and our environment, something that we're all very passionate about these days. But just before the Sun moves, there is a quarter moon in the sign of Pisces, another water sign like the Sun, but its right angle to the Sun in Gemini just suggests that we need to choose our words with care this week. Now, one of the reasons for this is that early in the week, Venus, the planet of relating, is challenged by Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, and of course Saturn is in retreat now. So if we become more aware of a relationship where our values don't mesh with the other person, it could be that there could be quite a stumble or even a cold point between two people, whether it's in a business relationship or a personal one. Ironically, Venus actually forges a very penetrating link to Pluto, virtually at the same time, and that can tell us who is for us and where we can feel that connection in a meaningful way. But then on Thursday, Venus joins up with Mercury, which is still in the sign of Gemini, and that gives us an opportunity to work hard at the way we relate to people in the following 28 days. Now, towards the end of this week, the Sun, newly arrived in Cancer, does go into a square with Jupiter, which is kind of larger than life influence. Just important, of course, to deliver on what we might promise. So please stay with me for your individual forecast. But if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand how serious astrology can impact on your situation, if you give me 3 pieces of personal information of time, date and place of birth, I can give you a roadmap that can guide you for the rest of your life. Also, in my special package of 30% off, you can also get a 12-month forecast. Now, no 2 reports are the same. They're totally individual for you. Please see the link below. Finally, I'm very close to that 100,000 subs mark on YouTube. If you have subscribed, I'm so thankful. If you'd like to do so, I'd be very grateful. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. So Pisces, your week commencing the 20th of June forecast sees the Sun make its way into your 5th house. The 5th house is about where we socialise, it's where we are most self-expressive and we show our warmth. It's where we can really radiate our talent. So all of those give you a tremendous platform over the next 4 weeks to flourish. Now Venus, as we go into this week, does continue in your sector of everyday communications. There can be a very profound conversation this week which gives you a lot of uplift, but equally someone else can tell you something that leaves you quite deflated. I'm sorry that there's not one definite set outcome. It's a bit more complex than that, astrology. It depends really what's going on in your situation. But Pluto's link to Venus can help you to understand the value of someone's ideas or how their role in your life is so important. It could be a friend. And it also can help you to think positively or have a conversation that gives you uplift about your future. But because Saturn is in your 12th house, much more psychological, can be restrictive, maybe a conversation will seem a bit tense or a difficult subject is discussed, and it's possible that a revelation can come to the surface that's not that easy to hear. Now, the quarter moon in your sign right at the start of this week also emphasises your sensitivity around your emotions. But once the sun moves on Tuesday, it is going to give you a lot more support. It is a heartening influence, a very physical, warming influence as well. And it is also the case that Jupiter, your traditional ruler, is in a very positive link to Mercury. If you're discussing anything about a contractual matter linked to a property, this can be a good thing. Then later in the week, Venus moves into your 4th house. If you are wanting to get a bit more sociable, it wouldn't be a surprise with Venus here that you invited people around to your home and played mine host. And you will do so with a great deal of charm and make it very pleasant for everyone. Romantically, if there is somebody that you like, an introduction through your family is possible. Maybe someone that's linked to your roots much further back in your life can come back into your situation in a more meaningful way in the here and now. But the Sun and Jupiter come into a square as the week draws to a close. That could make you a little bit more risk-taking around anything to do with chance or risk. But Jupiter obviously cautions us not to take things too much for granted when it comes to any type of luck. So if you have resources that you can afford to have a flutter on, you may decide to do so and actually have some success as the week draws to a close. But it's not the best of time to risk any resources that are much harder to come by. But generally, I think your physical energy and your enthusiasm and warmth are really going to start to come through from this week onwards.